Hello, folks, and welcome to episode 26 of Squares Realm. I just wanted to talk today for a while. I don't really know how long this conversation will go on for. It's just a free form one. But I've been sitting suffering with a wild toothache tonight. Agony. But the painkillers are finally working. And I've just been surfing through the internet there and just bombarded with Jordan Peterson videos. Communist propaganda, SJW, fucking bullshit, and just in general, the internet's became a really bleak place. And it was once a bastion of hope and political discourse, and it almost felt like humanity's hive mind could gather together and somehow beat the powers that be. It felt as if when the internet just started, when Tony Blair kind of made it mainstream back in the Labour government, as I talked about a youth centre that I used to go to before the Powerhouse. That was way back in 1996 and 1997, but we all had access to that earlier internet, and everybody talks about the gold age that happened around 2006 to 2010. Well, I was riding that wave as well. I was riding the early 4chan wave when Anonymous were kicking off and all. A friend of mine who's tech savvy, he introduced me to 4chan at around 2008. And that's when it was properly fucking Kino agelords all over it. It was very post-ironic. It had a very sardonic, tick on reality. Some people refer to 4chan as the asshole of the internet, but even you go on there now as well, it's saturated, it's all normies and the normal population on it, just talking about general crap. But even in the early 90s, mid-90s, 96 to 99, there the internet was fucking brilliant. I mean, it was basically all done through emails. You would get gifts and a lot of fucking crazy porn sent to you and stuff like that as well. But there was also great artistic, creative content from all sorts of dysfunctional fucking outcasts and weirdos, but not weirdos in the sense of nowadays we have all these furries and trans, fucking just all that mad shit going on. The internet used to be almost an escape for the disenfranchised, and now it's just became just a shithole of mainstream corporatism, censorship, and just stifling actual opinions. And I think it's very sad. How much the internet's died, especially me, when I was riding the wave of Streets of Glenfadda around 2010, 40,000 hits that got when algorithms weren't an issue. That would have just spread like wildfire amongst people enjoying it. But now algorithms kill the sharing of AG videos or anything that goes against the narrative. Now my videos went from getting 40,000 hits to around 2019 when algorithms and all came along. They just dropped to 1,000. And all our content creators get pumped up for doing just general, bullshit stuff that you would have found on TV 10 years ago. So the internet really was a source for creativity for people, and it was a free enterprise. Anybody could have a say, anybody could have a voice, but now it's pay to play. You gotta pay for endorsements, you gotta pay for promotional fucking things. So it's such a phony pretense, you don't even actually know who's popular. I think I read the other day that your woman Ariana Grande, or whatever her name is, she has some 60 million followers, but some 10 or 15 million of them are bots, paid for fucking fake fans. So there's a big illusionary world set out there. And I think I talked before about a guy called Aaron Swartz. If you don't know who Aaron Swartz was, Aaron Swartz kind of tragically hung himself, or was killed possibly by the FBI, CIA, because he was big on the internet freedoms, and he used RS feeds to share scholarly articles amongst the world, where it operated in such that he would take segments from articles all over the internet and arrange them to have complete academic books available to the public. But the government and people at large didn't want him doing that. He was also an internet rights activist, believed in non-censorship of the internet. Basically, my theorizing is that if Aaron Swartz was alive today, algorithms would not be a feature of the internet. I think he had the power and wit to stop those from being corporatized and used against us and turning the internet into the shell and the shadow of what it used to be. But I am a big believer that Aaron Swartz was bumped off because the government had in mind to change the free internet into a more corporatized, controlled, censored thing. And it's just really sad, because now we're almost living in a world like China, and a lot of us got to express our freedoms on the internet, you know. Like, a lot of us never would have got a chance to have such widespread opinion shared. I just think it's really sad what's happening to the internet, and algorithms seem to be a big part and parcel. I mean, there used to be a time you would go on the internet and it would just be random videos from like all sorts of legends popping up on the top of the feed on the number one searches, and these people were carried around the world based on the merit of their talent and creativity. It was not about what personality you were or who you were connected to or many podcasts you were. People made literally viral videos, and they would spring into the millions just based on sharing culture. And of course, the corporations and the likes of Apple, if you watch them carefully, they started imitating these viral videos and using them as their advertisement ploys. You know, the same styles. Like, one example would have been that guy walking forward and all the different patterns changing behind him. Then you seen holiday advertisement using that same trope, you know, in their mainstream advertising. So for me, that was when I started seeing it happen. Started seeing how the corporate world was cashing in on the internet. But some of the freest places on the internet now are just overrun by SJWs, and you know, people like to hit on trolls, but trolls were kind of ironic part of the internet. They were really a part of the free internet, and I think the hit of trolls sort of it changed the schism of it being a fun place not to take too seriously to being a place where you had to bring down the bit, you can't say that, you gotta say this. And I think when it started happening against that fraction of people, that was the media, the corporation, the journalists and all attacking that, because they seen that they were actually tokens of freedom that could have free speech out there. And journalists, like, they say that they're for everything, but they want to have a reign on what new information comes out. They don't like the idea of the public simply deciding what's a hot story or not, and then they have to catch up 6 months later when the public have already made their mind up. You see, they had a reign for quite some time, drip feeding the information and solving the case as the journalists went. But now the public are solving all these scandals and all out themselves by their own research. A great example of that would be the guy that killed the cat and posted photos of it on 4chan. Then all the Anons got together, done satellite trackings of his GPS on the photographs, managed to narrow it down to his hometown, then for his hometown. They used Google Maps and tracked all areas of his sky and how the light was falling on the one at a certain angle, so they estimated the time, and by the time, and etc., matching up lamppost pictures and all this sort of correlating data points. They were able to track him down and catch the guy that persecuted the cat. So that was like the internet as a hive mind, you know, performing justice, where, you know, your wee droves of journalists and police networks and stuff couldn't do this sort of thing. So there was some golden things that happened in 4chan in the early days, and even places like eBaum's World like the memes and videos, viral contact used to get on there. It was fucking brilliant. There was a lot of networking going on that was unaffected by algorithms. So it's kind of sad what's happening to the internet. And what do you do about it, you know? I was talking to a boy the other day, and he reckons you just have to kill it. He said it's got to a point now where, you know, it's infiltrated by the CIA, by Russian bots, by just people creating their own bots for marketing purposes, that it's created a world where it's almost like a matrix within a matrix. I think it was expressed beautifully when somebody said we used to go on the internet to escape reality. Now we go on to a reality to escape the internet. And there's been theories that it's actually a dead internet now, that it's actually so consumed by bots and fake accounts and, like, you know, digitally run like fucking personalities, that it's actually a completely artificial construct. In fact, it's so fake to a point that you probably have 3 or 4 friends on your Facebook feed that you probably interact with that you've never met before, but they're probably fake people, especially if you have them from other countries or something like that. There could even be CIA fucking bots mining information from all over the world. You know, you don't know unless you actually meet these people. Nobody's meeting in real life anymore. But the death of the internet, what are we going to do? Do you think maybe that was Tony Blair had that intended? Do you think maybe it is something to cause the breakdown of society? Maybe it was given to us as this free bastion so we can all get on it, and then the minute we all get on it, change the rules, like Bitcoin and stuff like that. You know, get us all onto that black market and then change the black market and fuck everybody's money over, leaving everybody financially corrupt, doing the same thing only we have information, uniting us all by knowledge, then fucking our heads up with, you know, creating like fucking political discourse with all our groups. That's something you've noticed too. The internet used to be very cultish in a fun way, but now it's cultish in political way, political ideologies. You get all sorts of fragments of politics coming, like you get 100 communists thinking a certain way, you get 100 leftists thinking another way, you get 1,000 socialists thinking all differently. It seems that every ideology is being broke down by it. Even things like personality disorders and mental health problems and teen suicides and anxiety disorders, they all seem to be working off the self that is created by this fucking machine that has become the internet. I mean, narcissism, things like that are on the rise. You know, people, I mean, the diagnosis of narcissism at its business is that a person projects a persona, but inside they don't want to be found out. But of course, that's the social media fucking atmosphere we're all in. We're all projecting our persona, but the real person hides behind, you know what I mean? I mean, everybody thinks I'm a fucking legend, but look at the shit. But if you knew what my gaff was like, I'm no fucking legend. People said to me, some girl said to me, oh, do you know, you think you're the one, you're famous, you would be able to support people with money and all this here. That don't mean fuck all. That's just people enjoying your shit. It doesn't mean money's coming my fucking way. So fame doesn't mean fuck all, and being an internet legend used to mean something, but now it means nothing. Now you're put to the bottom of the fucking flank. Savouring on the days you used to be fucking brilliant. Oh, I wish I could go back, it was me out in Vietnam. But the death of the internet, and as I was saying, my friend's theory is that maybe it will have to die eventually. Maybe they'll actually have to shut the whole fucking thing down. I mean, if there is such a large amount of bots on it, it's going to come a amount of time where, you know, you'll be totally confined to your own relationships because you'll not be able to trust what's real. It's causing a real, like, sort of, if that is the word where we operate on, like a digital medium. Here's something for you to think about. If that is the word that we're operating on, which is constructed by digital constructs. It's not like what you can see, what you can touch. Like the real world, you go, you look at somebody, you can see the deception in their eye going, oh, he's a lying bastard, I don't trust him. In this digital world, we're not reading, we can't read faces, we can't read expressions, we can't see the genuine intent or feeling that people have. So we're all thinking we're getting on great with certain people, but the actual reality was just basic human chemistry. You probably wouldn't interact with them as at all on an organic level and real life level. And then there's the fact that articles get hidden. It's a very unreal environment to be living most of our realities in. So that's like behaviour modification on a small scale. A senior man, Jaron Lanier, the guy that's he's a 1%er, so he's probably not completely trustworthy, and he's a big tech head, but he's a very knowledgeable guy too to listen to. You know, you can take him with a pinch of salt. But he's very adamant against social media and some of the algorithmic networks. But it's like, I lost my train of thought there. But his business is that he was basically saying like it might just leave you a bit cranky, and sure your mood will be down for a few hours by using social media. But I think it's more than that. I think it's a lot more than that. I think of algorithms and like your digital online experience. I think even government agencies could hone that to such a point where they could stress an individual out, especially somebody with mental health problems. Algorithms could be tailor-made to one individual, not groups of people. They could probably tailor-make an algorithm for one individual and bombard them with psychological warfare, all sorts of articles coming at them, changing them politically, make them extremist. I'd say that government agencies are probably doing that already to certain vulnerable citizens, people that can't just click off, you know, like myself. No, I'd say they're stressing certain members of society, certain persons of interest, and not just groups of people in political ideologies like we see on Facebook when COVID happened, for example, when certain information about it being leaked from a lab was suppressed. I reckon not only did they suppress information, but they give information not just to groups of people, but to certain individuals, almost creating quasi-enlightenments in people's brains and isolation and doing that. And you think, I probably think sounds like a really elaborate conspiracy theory, but you wouldn't put it past them. They're already using algorithms to sway political opinion en masse. So what makes you think they wouldn't use algorithms to sway one individual's opinion on, say, maybe a celebrity that they want bumped off, or a world leader, or a terrorist attack that they want in some province? You know what I mean? I wouldn't put it fucking past them. And of course that's how the internet wasn't free, because it was all done by your own freedom and will. You know, the old internet, it was like anything that came your way because it was spread organically by choice, not by the powers that be, the platform themselves deciding this is what you should watch now. I mean, that's another thing that the modern internet does, is too, is trend following, know how the algorithms are friendly. I mean, basically that's what it is. The algorithms have killed the internet. They've stopped it from being an organic source of free information and to this controlled, somewhat appearing like you've got the illusion of freedom, the illusion of choice, as George Carlin said, you know, in capitalism we've got the illusion of 500 donuts, but at the end of the day it's just a fucking donut, you know what I mean? But it does seem to be the algorithms is what's killed the internet. It's crazy. But I thought out there I'd make a wee 20-minute episode, or 21 minutes now. I just think it's very sad to see how it went. To see how it was a time where it was a place people came together to sort out the real world. Now it's just a place where people melt away, you know. And I don't think it might ever get back. In fact, it's probably going to take the next course now and move on to another extension of that, which will be biomechanical, like Neuralink and stuff like that. I mean, the control is perfect now. They've got us all indoors. We're all sitting playing the video games online. We're watching our videos online. They've given us all this entertainment for free. They've got us now hooked to a computer. They've got us ignoring the outside world. All they're going to go do now is get the pipe in the back of your neck. Oh, great! This is great! I love it, Zuckerberg. Thanks very much. This is the most amazing game I've ever read. That's what they're doing. They're fucking us up from every dimension, man. They're coming at us. They're coming at us. The electronic fucking digital snakes. Ciphering it. Just take over his eyes first. We'll get his belly button later. We'll put the device inside his backbone. We'll have him on a stretcher and muffs. He'll be fucking fucked. Real fucked. But aye. Do you remember the internet used to be class, like? Used to be some crack. Now it's fucked. Don't let the bastards grind you down, folks. Up life.